Yeah, good morning once again. Today we are the African Giant Rat Unit at Ashanti Mampong, Amastad to be precise. My name is Mohamed Masahudu and I'm full in animal breeding and genetics. Today I'm going to walk you through our daily routine. We just remove our feeders and drinkers from our animal cells. And as you can see, most of them are dirty, others are contaminated with the animal feces. We are to carry all these feeders and drinkers outside to ensure that we wash it thoroughly and make it clean. After that, we keep it dry before we serve the feeders and the drinkers with fresh water and fresh feed. We have moved the feeders and the drinkers outside, and we are to demonstrate how we wash our drinkers and the feeders. See, you have to ensure that you clean it thoroughly so as to make it free from impurities. So now let's look at the feeder. That's a demonstration of how we wash our feeders and troughs and the water troughs. After this, you now keep it dry before you send it inside and provide the animals with the fresh feed and water. Now we have sent our cleaned and dried troughs inside. That is the drinkers and the feeders. We just served our animals with their feed. These animals feed on maize, they feed on palm fruits, they feed on cassava, and even some grasses. Here we provide the grasses as supplements, especially the Panicum maximum, which is the guinea grass, and we equally also provide them with the Penistum pepilium, which is the elephant grass. But if you look at today, the feed that we have provided, there's something special about this. You see that we are feeding our animals with the crops. These animals likes holding, and most often it's good you provide this corn with the crops for them so that they'll be able to feed very well, because they like holding, so that the crops will help them to hold and they will feed the corn. Very soon we'll let you have a view of how these animals feed. But before then, I would like us to look at the taxonomy of these African giant rat. The African giant rat, the scientific name is Cricetomys gambianus. The kingdom is Animalia, the phylum is Chordata, the class is Mammalia, the order is Rodentia, the family is the Muridae, and the subfamily is the Cricetomys. These animals are mostly found in the tropical and subtropical regions. Particularly Ghana here, we have a lot in the wild. I think after here, I will now let you have a view of how they feed, and after that we proceed to talk more on them. Okay, this is how we feed our animals. These animals have cheek pouches. So when they are feeding, they gather as much as they can to fill their cheek pouches. So whilst it is feeding, you see the cheek region increasing in size. Increase as they feed, you see the cheek region increasing in size. Mostly they do this because of their hoarding behaviors. So they will gather as much as they can, go back to their bedding materials and hide some. And the principle behind this, their behavior, is that they are animals that envisage that there can be sometimes that there will be food shortage, or there can be unfavorable environmental conditions, but for them to be at a safer side so that they will now depend on their stored feed. Hope you are seeing how our animals are feeding. And you can see how the cheek is increasing in size as well because of their pouches. These animals are also called fancy animals. They can equally be called comic animals. You see how funny the face is when it is feeding, with those cheek pouches enlarging. So that is how sometimes in some literatures they call it fancy or comic animals. These animals have soft gray coat. Hope you can see the coat. They have soft gray coat. If you look beneath, or the ventral position of the animals, or at their belly, you see that they have white face. They have white face. They have white face at their belly. And they equally also have a long tails, with the tip being white. These animals are omnivorous. They eat the vegetables, fruits, insects such as termites, and some small animals such as these snails. These animals are nocturnal. It means they are always active during the night. They are always active during the night. These animals also have some huddling behavior, mostly during cold weather. As you can see our animals here, there are 3 of them. You can see them very close to each other. There's contact. That's the huddling behavior. With this one, they do this in order to generate heat for themselves. That is one of their behavior. If you look inside our cells, you can see that we have some bedding materials. These bedding materials were provided as feed. That is the panicum maximum. So after taking the stocks, they now use it as their bedding materials. Mostly we do this to provide supplement for them. And every 3 days, we normally change these bedding materials and provide fresh one. If we look inside the cells, you can see that we have bamboo sticks that are there. These animals, one of their instincts, they like chewing. If you go to the European setups, they provide these animals with the wool toys because of that behavior of chewing. But for us, in our setup, we want to make our animals to fill their natural habitats. So we decided to provide these bamboo sticks for them. So as you can see on the bamboo sticks, you can see that they have chewed the sideways of it. And so this one, we substitute it as our wool toy. And our animals are really doing well with that. Now, if you come to the structure, you see that most of if you look at the hatch, the material we use most is the galvanized wire mesh, and at the edges we use some hard woods that the animal cannot chew, that the animal will find it difficult in chewing. These galvanized wire mesh are used in order to prevent them from escaping. And if you look at beneath the cells, we equally have the roofing sheets as layouts. Roofing sheets as layouts, so that we'll be able to make the cleaning of their waste very easy. You can see. So you see that it makes the cleaning very easy. And with the stocking of the cells, you have to ensure that your animals are not overcrowded. Mostly the females are able to coordinate very well, but if you keep the males together, they are very aggressive and they can fight to death. So that is one behavior of them. So when you are doing your pairings in your cells, you have to ensure that you do it properly in order to avoid death or injuries on your animals. For us here on this our project, what we are doing, we have 2 females and we have 1 male. Since the 2 females can coordinate and the 1 male can equally also be able to stay in the cells. If you go to the wild, and you look at their burrows, mostly you see the males are always at solitary and the females are always together. Sometimes you can go and dig a particular burrow and you see the mothers, the daughters, and the sisters all together. And sometimes you may not find these males. That is one of their behavior. If you go to the wild, some of the habitats where we can find these animals, mostly they are always close to the termitariums. They will dig holes in the termitariums. They have burrows in their termitarium, closer to the termitariums, in order to be able to get access to these termites. Sometimes they also create burrows in the plants. Or sometimes if you go to the refuse dumps, that is those areas that sometimes you can find these animals in Ghana here. Now, someone will say, why the reason to domesticate these African gentlers? If you look at the increase in population and the demand for bushmeat, it is something that we should be looking at other animals that are at the wild, how we'll be able to bring them and add to our traditional farm animals. And I think this African gentle rat is one of the most consumed animals in the world, especially if you look at the rodents. That is one of the most consumed animals in Ghana here. So we have to study them in captivity, get more literature on them, and see how possible best we'll be able to add them to the already existing traditional farm animals. But there's one thing about these animals, they are very, very aggressive. When we brought these animals at the initial stage, all of them, about 45 animals, all of them were aggressive. But now we have most of them being tamed now, and about 5 of them still aggressive. Others at the early stage were aggressive. Others, when they became adult, became aggressive. That is one aspect of them. So as they are still under study, and we wish most people will come on board so that we all help to see how possible best we can add this nice and important animal to our already traditional farm animals. Thank you very much. My name is Mohamed Masahudu. Once again, an M4 student in animal breeding and genetics. Till we meet again for episode 2. Bye bye.